You now tap back into the Kizo Corner show. And I got a couple of hot new artists, special guests in the building today. They go by the name of Joanz and B. And I want to welcome you guys to the Kizo Corner show. And we can jump into it. You guys are from Rockford, Illinois?
Yes, sir.
What's the music scene out like that out there?
To speak on that, it's a bunch of, it's some talent in the rock. It really is. Sure. I always say it's a diamond in the rough situation where, you really got to pick through it. You got to really fine tooth comb, pick through it, and look and like really open your ears and try and find the new talent that's coming out of the rock. Like everybody is trying to make music, and it ain't just Rockford. It ain't just Milwaukee. It's everybody's trying to make music right now. Yeah. So it's really just about finding the ones that are actually taking it serious right now and not trying to, upkeep a gimmick.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was hip to a long time ago to there's a hip hop community everywhere. When I mean everywhere, I mean everywhere in the world. Yep. Yeah. I didn't understand that at first because we had opened a store in Saudi Arabia, and I'm like, who's wearing FUBU in Saudi Arabia? Right. And then I was told that. So, I know for some places that have talented people, sometimes they got to travel outside where they're from to kind of tap into a major or bigger market to get on. You're about to get it wrong. You is about to step away from music.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And and I guess it was that third time where you just decided to step back into it, and the third time was a charm. Tell us about that.
So growing up, I've been singing my whole life, since 3 or 4 years old. My dad used to set up the camera in the living room. I sing Michael Jackson, Temptations, everything like that. So I've been singing for a while. I sang in church from every grade. I was in choir, every single grade. So I started off in church. I started with a group that I had in church, and it didn't really go the way I wanted to go. I didn't get the attention that I thought I would. So I kind of gave it a break. I tried back again, early teens into about 20 years old. Again, it didn't go the way I wanted to. I didn't get the attention that I wanted. I couldn't get the right producers, the sounds that I needed. So I gave it a break. Then I moved to Rockford in 2016. And I was making music with a producer. It actually started sounding pretty good, but again, like KJ or Jones was saying, and it goes to show wherever you are, you have people that just won't support or will only support what's relevant or the trend.
No, they only support once you start popping.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
My man, what's up? And you like, I don't even know you, bro.
Right. So it was like that. So I was getting ready I had put up a post on Instagram like, man, I'm over the music, man. Like, I've been trying, it ain't working. And my manager, part of the management team, DM'd me before I didn't even know him. And he's like, hey, this is your calling. Don't give up quite yet. Just give it a little more time. And, thanks to that and thanks to the people that I surround myself by and with, it just took off.
Yeah, it's crazy about this story is like, there's this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So when we were putting FUBU together, we was doing it for years and wasn't making no money. So everybody, how that can be, you got one hand over here, you got one hand over there. Especially I had a daughter at the time, so I was trying to make sure that I was able to take care of her.
Right.
But Damon saw that we weren't mentally all together. So what he did was, I bought this book for everybody. Read this book. And he gave us a book. And so what I got out of the book, and this is like, I read the book, the entire book, and it's a great book. But what really stuck with me was a quote that said, you never know how far you come, let me see, I'm gonna fuck this up all this time. You never know how close you come to success because you often quit and fail. So that means like, if you feel that it's right there, it's right there.
Right.
Like
Sometimes
sometimes people get discouraged and then they quit, and that
Miss
door
out
was,
on that.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
right there.
Got you.
So what we did when we read the book and read the quotes and got all that knowledge, we was like, you know what, this is something that that's gonna happen. We just gotta keep at it.
Yeah.
So, you know, for us, it was a do or die. You know what I mean? Like we had something, and if we didn't push it, it wasn't gonna go anywhere.
Right.
But you guys seem to like just how did you get together, and what was that like? Like, tell me about that.
A mutual friend put us together.
Did he see the vision before, or he just said, "Let me see what's going on"?
Matter of fact, for you, I'm gonna detail it a little bit more.
Okay.
So look, I started making music at 19, 20. And at that time, I was going through a lot of rough patches in my life as figuring out what I wanted to do in my life. And I had realized this whole entire time that I thought, you know, playing a sport was my passion. I went to college, got there, got through it. It wasn't. It became
Which
a
play?
job. Played football. Played basketball too, but
I did that till it started hurting, and I was like, I was like, man, this is too. I'm taking ice baths at 13,
man.
man.
Trust me, been there. But I ended up coming back from college. Knew I didn't want to play sports anymore, and I ended up in all just, you know, dead in college and deciding to take music seriously. And that said mutual friend that brought us together struck a deal with me. He said, if you do this, you take it serious, and you see some results in a year, I'll help you out with it. If not, go back to school. I was like, deal. I say it worked out pretty good.
It
But
definitely worked out. I listen to y'all music. Y'all music is dope, so I'm ready for y'all to pop with that.
man, appreciate it. But he, as I was after that deal was struck and everything like that, he started realizing I was actually taking it serious, and I kept complaining to him about it. I'm like, I just need somebody that can sing. I need somebody with vocals. That's it. Just somebody with vocals. I got all these sounds in my head, but I can't get it out myself.
Right.
And that's when he brought me across Bro here, and I was like, I heard his songs, and I'm like, this is exactly what I need. All the missing pieces that I kept hearing, all the missing notes, he was hitting them. And I'm like, yep, that's it. That's perfect. Set it up, and here we are.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Y'all guys said something that resonated with me because I've been speaking on this. Actually, I was just talking to Mike about it. You guys said something about you put your ego and your pride aside and was able to come together and make it work.
Yeah.
I know for me, you know, I was going through a rough patch where I was trying to find myself. And not really find myself, but figure out what my next move was going to be.
Right.
And my ego and my pride was preventing me from getting to the next step.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, you know, I was trying to think about it. I was like, man, what the hell? Like, why can't, you know, like, I didn't want to take this job because it was a lot of money, but it wasn't the money that I was used to getting.
Right.
So I was like, somebody going to say, you know, because this is when, you know, FUBU wasn't doing too well. So it was like, okay, what do we do next? I didn't want to go work for anybody because I didn't want them to ask me a whole bunch of questions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's my ego and my pride, just blocking my blessings.
Exactly.
So Damien used to tell me all the time, you know, get out your own way. So one day I sat down, you've been telling me this shit about 10 years. Like, I'm in my way for that long? Like, let me figure it out. And when I kind of did my self-analysis, I said, oh, damn, I could have handled that better. I could have approached that better. You know, I could have responded a little different here. I could, you know, so I just started like weighing everything that was happening in my life. And then when I got to the part about me getting to the next step, I was like, well, that ain't nothing but my ego and my pride preventing me from doing that. So when you guys said that, it just resonated with me. I was like, damn, I ain't the only one to go through this, right? You know?
We didn't have
so speak on that a little bit. You know, let the people know about that.
So many situations inside the camp, outside the camp, where it's just like, all right, and that's the biggest thing that he actually taught me, to be selfless. Like,
You have to.
Like, he really in a way without even knowing, just like worked with me. He didn't even know he was like helping me out, but he was. And it showcased itself when it really started becoming an inner camp thing. And that's when we were all like, all right, look, we got one common goal, we got one purpose, and we all share the same ambitions. So why are we letting, you know, that and it's a bad issue between men, but why are we letting that pride block us from getting that common goal? So once we realized that's what it was, and we started really fine-tuning everything to make sure that everything in the camp is so strong, so linked together, because you're only as strong as your weakest link. So everything in the camp is so sharpened up, so strong, to the point that no outside forces or factors can come in and cause disruption in our inner circles.
Yeah, and it's funny because without the right people around you, you know, it makes it so much harder.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're carrying weight that, like you said, you got to be selfish sometimes. Like, you know, listen, this is about me. It's about what I'm doing. I love you, but I'm going to have to take this journey alone. I'll come back and get you, but let me get, you know, get focused and get to this bag. I listened to your songs. Was Song Speak and Well Known? Is it Well Known? Yeah, Well Known.
Well known.
So I told y'all when y'all first got here, like, you know, talking about R&B is dead and all that.
Yeah.
And it was refreshing to hear you guys, like, even with the raps and the singing together. But when I turned it on, the beat just had me like, and I was like, okay. What they gonna, in my mind, I'm like, what they gonna do with this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what they gonna do with this? Because the beat was banging, and I was like, then I heard the singing come on, and then the rapping. I was like, okay. And then I listened to Well Known after that, and I was like, oh, I like these guys. These guys got a new sound. They got, I don't want to say a new sound, but y'all have a great sound. Y'all sound
I'm glad
good
you
together.
said that. I appreciate that.
Where whoever put y'all together saw that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the songs are fire. When is the EP dropping?
Right now, we still in the works of stuff. Like, we got a whole bunch of ideas in the pot right now, and it's just a boiling pot of really getting, you know, the meat and bones of everything as far as the treatment for our video shoot for Well Known together. Just because we really, and I'm sure we'll get into it here soon, but we really want to depict a cold message that we have coming up with that video shoot. So if you really like the song, I could only imagine what you're going to do when you actually see it presented, the song itself presented on screen. That's exactly what we're trying to do.
It's dope. I told you I like the hook. Song Speak. It goes, I ain't really with the handout. I don't want to fit in. I got to stand out. I was like, these dudes is on to something right here. Like, you know what it is? When you have music that, like, when you listen to it and it resonates with you, you like, like I always say, when people make great music, it's timeless. When you just go in the studio to just throw something together, then it's like, this might be a little trend. You know, this might be a little trendy song. You know what I mean? But a couple of years, this will fall off. But you guys really you know, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a real cat. If it's working, it's working. If it's not, I ain't gonna tell you.
That's just what we strive for on a daily. You know, we stay up with the trend of music. We follow the direction. You know, we're very in tune with how the industry is going and the direction that it's moving. We see that people are more so following the other, you know, right now, or just doing what's popular, or trying to get the next quickest thing on TikTok or whatever that be.
Right.
So we pay attention to that, and we focus on, and we pride ourselves in, you know, staying outside that loop, staying outside that box, and thinking outside the box to make sure that our sound consistently stays timeless.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because a lot of times, even us from back in the days, we will always try to figure out what the next step was. Not what the current trendy steps are, but what was the next direction that we wanted to go into that people couldn't really... Because what happened with us, right? Like, we would put out an ad, and, you know, back then, you would have to sit down for a couple of months, pull all your stuff together, get it out. So you wouldn't really see your ad visually until like 6 months later. By the time you get in the magazine and all that, it's not like today's instant. So we would put it out, and then by the next 3 months, somebody else will have out the same ad. It'd be different, brands, but it'd be the same type of ad. They'll just try to switch it up a little bit. But they were following what we were doing, and I was like, man, how do we like just leave these dudes in the dust, So that's when we started reaching out to like BMX, the X Games, NASCAR. Like cats wasn't doing that,
right? So
we were able to step in there and just differentiate ourselves from the rest of the crowd.
Get your own lane.
Yeah, exactly. Get our own lane. Yeah. So it's cool that you say that, because today, I noticed today, even a couple of years ago when they were talking about mumble rap and everybody was like, everybody was doing it, and I was like, come on, and then I say to myself too, like, you hear songs on the radio now, you think these songs are going to be played 30 years from now? Yeah. Like a lot of these songs. Like I don't hate on nobody, like the new artists, the young artists. I wish everybody luck and blessings. But you gotta, like I always say, you gotta put in the work. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You got to put in the work, and you gotta be really, down. Like I'm here at 8 o'clock in the morning. Cats be like, "What you doing at 8 o'clock in the morning?" I gotta put in the work. I gotta make sure this is. It's getting there, but I just got to keep grinding until it's there, and then I will still keep grinding, So it's great that you said that. I want to tap into, because you said you don't know when the EP is coming out, right?
No, yeah.
You know when the video? Yeah.
So
here soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
Hopefully we'll be able to.
I like that photo shoot y'all did. Y'all some cool ass brothers, man. y'all was looking like high fashion models. I was like, damn, let me take a couple of pointers. I was like, okay. And this guy over here looking back, I'm like, damn, I gotta use that one. Because I always go to photo shoots, bro, and I always do my own thing, but it's on some like real hood shit. Yeah. It's not like y'all look like professional models. I was like, damn, these guys are really doing their thing. So I can't wait till the video come out. I know y'all got something.
Oh man, it's something up the sleeve for sure. Like, I mean, it's called, the title's well known, but like it really takes a plot twist on it to really showcase.
It depicts who we are, what we go through, and what artists go through on a daily
that you may not see on the regular.
I remember putting out FUBU FB Entertainment, boy. They was robbing the kid. Yo, cats was selling us songs they didn't even own. They was telling us it was this person, it wasn't this person. It was just like, dude, this is how shady this industry is. Like, and then for us, we came in with a ton of money, so cats was just trying to bang our pockets out. And we spent like, album with gold, which was good. And Mr. Cheeks told me the other day he got a plaque. I got to talk to you, Mike. See how help me get my plaque, man.
You got to hit him up, huh? You got to get to that.
I got one.
You got one? Oh, but I gotta see about that plaque. But when we was doing that, right? We spent about $5 million, bro.
Man,
we did a little tour, we went around and everything, but it was crazy because we didn't see nothing come back. Because it wasn't like they gave us the money, you know what I'm saying? Right, and they were taking it. It's just, we spent a lot of money, and it just, for us at the time, we were used to just, if we spend $5 million, we gonna get 20. You know what I'm saying? It's in the clothing game. That's how I was going. Like you spend $5 million, you get 25 million back. Less minus the manufacturers, but you play 4 instruments. Tell me about that. See, I'm low key jealous over here, right? Because when I was younger, my mom's put me in piano class, and I was really getting good at it, but she couldn't afford it. We was on welfare, so I don't even know how she got us in the damn school. But I was getting good at it. My grandmother had a piano at her house, so I would practice at her house. But my mother couldn't afford it, so she took me out. So I always was like, damn, if you'd have just left me there, like, I would have had another skill.
Right, right.
And I always wanted to sing, and I can't sing for shit. I can't rap for shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, my little brother, he's a great rapper. I told him one day, I was like, I'm a little too old now for you to teach me, but I never was able to rap or sing. You know what I'm saying? So tell us about being a true musician.
For me, it's just a form of therapy. So, like, every time I came across the instrument, it was just like, I first started playing the drums. And being a church boy and being raised in the church, I saw the, organist playing, pianist. I've seen saxophones. I saw bass guitar, all these different instruments, but they all have one thing in common. They're being played by hand. And the one thing that I used to love was mimicking. So I would go to rehearsals, I would go to church, come back, and mimic everything I saw. And then once the MP3 came in, I would just pop that in, download the songs from church that I heard, put earbuds in, and go at it. And it wasn't until I had practiced certain songs so much for so long, and finally had got my time to be able to just be in the music department of the church while everybody else was outside or downstairs. Right. And I'll never forget this. My pastor came up at the time. He came up, and I didn't know he came up because I had my MP3 player in and all that stuff, and obviously drums are loud, so I'm not paying attention really. And I remember it because as soon as I saw him, I thought I was in trouble. So I just froze up right there and put everything down and all that stuff like that. He came over to me and was like, I didn't know you played the drums. Your mama didn't tell me that. I was like, yeah, I've just been over here studying to potentially be able to play one day. He was like, well, guess what? Now you start in children's church. And from there, the rest was history. I wanted to learn every possible instrument in that room that I could to be able to just be so diverse on all of it. And eventually I went from playing the drums to messing around with the keys. And what really helped me out with the keys was the fact that once I went to school and started playing a saxophone, I was able to read music. Right. And then once I was able to read music, I could hear the notes and be like, okay, that's that. That's B flat. That's C sharp. That's F. Okay, I know what that is. And that's what helped me with the keys, because when I hear the note, or I hear the scale that it's in, I already know exactly how to just play around with it.
No, that's dope. That's dope. I always give kudos to musicians because people don't really realize how important they are to the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I see, I forget his name, but the guy that did Super Bowl, the Jay-Z Super Bowl. Not Jay-Z Super Bowl, Dr. J Super Bowl. He's a musical director, but he does, like, you see, I just saw him on stage at the last, was it the Grammys, I think? He was on stage with somebody else, but he's always, I got his name at the tip of my tongue, but he's always, like, at every big joint, he's always the person running the music. And he plays guitar. I've seen him play guitar, I think a piano. He plays a bunch of different instruments, but it's
I'm trying to think. You got me stuck. I'm trying to think.
You go back to Dr. Dre's Super Bowl and look at the musical director, because he was actually in the video, he was actually like talking and telling people what to do, when to be here. This, when we need this, we need that. So he was actually running the whole thing.
Right.
But to be that type of person, just to stay with something that long and to be able to get to that level, like you doing Super Bowl and Grammys and like, you know what I mean? Like, you really out there doing it. Yep. That's it.
Okay.
So when I see him and I'm like, it's dope that he's getting, because you see a lot of bands, right? You don't see a lot of bands in hip hop,
right?
And R&B. There's usually a DAT or pre-recorded CD or whatever it is. But when you get back to the musician side of it, that's Like and I'm not a musician, but I love the part when I can see a whole band just recreate. Even the Roots, like the Roots are like one of the dopest bands out there. You know what I mean? Like they can play anything, any song, like and that's so underrated these days because everybody's with the I call it the microwave. Everybody wants to. Why get a band? I can get a CD. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's what the industry has lost, and that's something that we're actually looking into as far as like live performances and stuff like that, because that's like Earth, Wind, and Fire, and having that instrumentation in the background that actually makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up because it's the soulfulness in it.
It gives the performance a different level of excellence. You know what I'm saying? Like. You can stop it. You can, you know what I'm saying? You can slow it down. Like you can really freak it. Another thing I can relate to you guys, because I was reading up on y'all, and you guys really like to be yourselves. And a lot of times, people, I won't even say get in this business because it's not just in this business, but people tend to want to be other people or. Try to be something that they're not. And I prided myself. Yeah, I prided myself. Because I remember back in the days, David used to get on me and be like, yo, you hood ass nigga. Why you always act? I'm like, this is who I am, bro. Yeah. Like, who you want me to be? Yeah. But I do know sometimes I was out of line. But, I try to straighten that up. But I never tried to be somebody I wasn't. Like, this is always who I've been. So this is what you gonna get, and I'm professional with my shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care. Like I don't envy nobody.
Right,
like, if you got gazillion dollars over there and 500 cars, it's like, oh, cool. You don't need that many cars, but
you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
need that many.
You might as well start giving cars away. Yeah. But I've always prided myself on being myself. And a good friend of mine told me one day. He said, "Yo, you was Cardi B before you Cardi B. Now." Let me explain to you. This guy has all type of analogies that don't make sense.
I was definitely gonna ask. What?
But what he was saying was, Cardi B has been real from day one. She's been who she was from day one.
That is true.
And he said, you've been the same person since we grew up around the way. You haven't changed. You grew up, but you haven't changed who you are. You have, you treat people the same. Like you're just the same person, like good person. And I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense now.
Right.
He was like, Cardi, I was like, well, what's Cardi B before Cardi B? Like, what I'm trying to think of what the hell is going on. But I like that about people. Like, I like to talk to people who are themselves, who don't have a problem being themselves.
Right.
It's starting to be a lost cause among some people because of social media. And, you can't look on social media and look at someone's life and be like, oh, this is what I want. They're only showing you the good parts.
Only the highlights.
You don't know what the hell they're going through. Like, one time I was looking at, my man showed me. He was like, yo, I want to show you this. You ever see this chick? So I looked, I was like, yeah, I've seen her around, like on Instagram or whatever. And he was like, okay, look at her page. He showed me a page jumping out of Rolls Royces and Bugattis, and she looked like she living it up. He was like, yo, I met her and hung out with her and went to her house, and it was like 6 girls living in 1-2 bedroom apartment. And it had no furniture. He's like, he had like a couch, a table, and a TV.
Oh wow.
But and a blow up bed in this room and a bed in another room. And I'm like, so you never know how people are really living, because if you think this is what it is, 9 times out of 10 it's not. So I like the fact that you guys pride yourselves on being yourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, you gotta think about it though. Like, for example, the woman you're just talking about. You know how hard she got to work to upkeep that gimmick? You know how much she got to do to be around them cars, be around them types of people?
Exactly.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. To not be yourself, in my opinion, it's not worth it.
Yeah, listen, man. Like with me, like I said, it's so much easier to be me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about nothing else. All I care about is my family, my friends. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Everything else, is what? a facade.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I like that about you guys. Any shows, anything else you guys got coming up that you want to talk about? What I haven't asked.
Right now, we're really just focused on the video that we're trying to gather and make sure it's the best that we can come up with.
Okay.
So we're coming up, with a collaborative effort and making sure that we get that, because all the past things that we've done have lessons and things that we want to depict inside of them. So, we spend a lot of time trying to come up with a thought process and make sure that, like you were speaking of earlier, the groundwork is there, because you can have a stable ground, but without the correct pillars in the correct places,
Right.
then the rest of it won't,
can't build on it.
exactly. So
Outside of just the music, we actually have our project that we're working on. Got a meeting on Monday for as far as our tequila. So be on the lookout for El Chador as well.
Okay.
A lot of big things going on with that right now, trying to make sure that we can get that to the shelves to y'all as soon as possible.
absolutely.
Let me know. We keep a couple bottles around here. We
We're going to have to get you right,
we ain't
man.
no drink champs, but we keep a couple of bottles to keep the people, keep them right. So and I always talk about things like with me, man. I always like to see the next man do good, because I feel like if I can lift somebody lift somebody up the ladder, or help somebody get to that next step, that's great for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
People get so selfish.
Yeah.
And when they get into a position and they're getting money, or they are doing well, they don't want to reach out and let somebody else do well. And I just always had a problem with that. You know what I mean?
We stand firm on that too. It's not. We always say this because it's not about us. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
It's about providing and being able to place other people in these positions as well.
Right.
We want to. It's not only about the music for us. We want to be moguls, DJ Khaled's of the industry.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Doing our foot in everything. Helping out people and showing them that everything is not wrong. We go through these things and we want to give direction to how not to go through the stuff we went through.
Exactly.
So a lot of people go through things and then they don't give out the ingredient how to not do the same thing they did. They just learn yourself, and
that's not cool.
That's not how it
Man,
works.
it's just really us trying to get rid of that crabs in a bucket mentality between both our cities and hometowns. That's really all it is. And that's the problem. Once someone makes it out, everyone is envious. But
So
once
y'all from two different cities?
Yep.
born in two different
Born,
cities,
okay.
yeah. So I'm from Rockford, Illinois.
Okay.
I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, because I heard Milwaukee earlier.
Yeah.
That's what I said. We're trying to figure out which one.
Nah, but you just got individuals that cannot, for somewhat reason, cannot stand anyone else's success. I never understood that.
It's a mindset. Like you said, with the crabs in the barrel, and it just and it goes over so many different industries. It's not just music, not just sports, not just corporate, not just the fashion industry. It goes across everything. It's just mentally we were programmed like that, and it hasn't, we haven't shedded it yet
At all.
And it's unfortunate that other nationalities and ethnicities can get together and make things happen, and prosper, and and I'm not saying that we don't, but we have more pullback forward. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's like you said earlier. It's like if you're doing something and someone sees you doing something, they're not gonna support you.
Well, I think that also comes from the lack of competitive nature. If you think about it, they stopped they stopped handing out the first and second and third place trophies, and now everybody gets a participation trophy. When that happened, that's what caused the lax attitude as far as, what do we necessarily, we're all, at the end of the day, we're all in this, but we're not going to point out who's actually putting in the most work as far to stand out.
Right.
And we're awarding everyone for anything. So when that happened, that's when you started to have these individuals that, felt as though they don't need to give you your props because everybody is already giving it to you, right? But at the same time, you also have these people who are being rewarded for not putting in nearly as much work as you have, not even taking it serious like you have. They'll go into for example, if we put it into music terms, go into the studio, knock out a song in 5 minutes, right? And there's a difference between timeless songs and for the time. So those for the time songs is what is drowning and oversaturating hip hop in the music scene today. And those people that you actually see make timeless songs are getting put on the back burner as though it's like, oh, it's old school hip hop, it's old school rap, it's old school R&B, it's old. No, there's meaning in it though that you're missing. There's meat and bones and all of that you're missing.
So let me ask you a question, since you touched on that. I've been hearing a lot of things about industry plants. And I believe some of it. I don't believe all of it, but I believe there's a system to keep certain music out there, and also to block better music or more popular music from getting to that point, because this is the narrative that they want to put out there. What do you guys think about that?
For me, I definitely think there's a such thing as that. Like, you have situations where artists get, especially when you go through artist development, especially when labels put you through artist development. Like, there's certain things where they try and mold you into a certain way that they think is hot right now. But like I said, a lot of these labels are built for the time, not timeless. They don't want to be timeless. They're built for the time. They want that artist to be built for the time. And that's where you do get those plants. Like, they don't even know that they're becoming plants, but you're being molded by the label, by the industry, by society. If you aren't strong-minded and know exactly, and you're planted and grounded and know who you are, that's where the molding comes in, and that's where these industry, quote-unquote, industry plants come from. Yeah. You can't be a follower and expect to come into a ocean full of sharks and just lead them all and survive.
Yeah, one thing you said was dope, is that you don't know that you're being turned into an industry plant because you're not, you're just so happy to be there.
Exactly.
Get to the position, you're finally getting money, and then but man, I appreciate you guys coming, man. I know you're running out of time, but it's a pleasure meeting you guys, man. I look forward to,
pleasure.
I'm getting ready to snatch these two songs and put them on my phone.
Appreciate
and I'm
that,
play them
man.
in the car going home tonight, man. But I appreciate you guys pulling up. I wish y'all nothing but success. When you guys are back in town, feel free. Just stop by, or let me know you. Just do this again.
Of course.
It's our pleasure being here.
You want to give him the old R&B outro, the introduction, since he said R&B dead. We should go ahead and give him a little taste of how we bringing it back.
Sure. Let's go.
It's your boy KJ Jones.
It's your boy B.
And we are Joanz and B. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it for having us.
And
we definitely got to come back with a Chidor bottle for you.
I'm telling y'all, it's going to be fire. I ain't even going to let y'all hear it till it's out, but appreciate it. Another episode of Kizo Corner. We's a wrap. Appreciate you guys coming in, man. Let's go. All right.
Appreciate it.